Thanks for joining us on this edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani Saint-Jean. In the headlines, teachers can be involved in policy making to enhance the education system. Dominica launches the 6th edition of Jazz and Creole, and the Ministry of Trade hosted a national seminar to explore trade opportunities. Details of our headline stories and more after this.
Wash your hands. I am Adora Tuse, health educator from the Ministry of Health. Proper hand washing protects against the spread of many common illnesses and germs. Wash your hands often with soap and water, or you may use a hand sanitizer. Remember, clean hands save lives. Protect yourself.
A message from the health promotion of the ministry.
Thanks for staying with us. Classroom teachers can play a major role in the policy-making process of the education system. So says former President of Dominica, His Excellency Eliud Williams. Williams made the remark as he addressed the annual general meeting of the Dominica Association of Teachers held on Wednesday. The former president was the featured speaker and spoke on the theme, Policy-making processes, the role of the classroom teacher.
Our government and other key stakeholders in education must continually invest in the infrastructure to create learning environments and opportunities for high-quality education. This requires policies that are flexible and inclusive so that the specific needs of all children or groups of children can be addressed. The policy-making process, therefore, take account of children who are less visible, those with disabilities, those of migrants. Yes, migrants. There are Haitians and people of the Dominican Republic among us, and those with health impairments. These efforts and initiatives can best be achieved with the active involvement and collaboration of non-government organizations, community members, parent groups, and religious organizations. It is in these kinds of collaborative efforts that our classroom teachers can begin to play a major role in the policy-making process.
Williams highlighted specific areas where teachers could be engaged in the policy-making process of the education system.
These include education planning, curriculum development, teacher training, resource mobilization, physical infrastructure, class sizes, remuneration.
Curriculum specialists working alongside teachers could also enhance the curriculum.
Indeed, curriculum specialists help teachers understand content standards, how various components link together, and how the use of curriculum in planning instruction and assessment, which is essential for consistent curriculum implementation throughout the school. Involvement of teachers by specialists in formulating and developing curricula would utilize the classroom teacher's experience and learning that could greatly enhance content and help design delivery mechanisms for effective teaching and learning.
In light of global competition, the government of Dominica has taken the Economic Citizenship Program to yet another level. The Economic Citizenship Program, which was started in 1993, seeks to give potential investors an opportunity to contribute to Dominica's economy and in return obtain Dominican citizenship. Over the years, the program has been operated by personnel of the Ministry of Finance. However, recent changes in the landscape of the program on a global scale has led the government of Dominica to rethink its strategy to allow for more efficiency. And so earlier this year, the Citizenship by Investment Unit was opened with Emmanuel Nanzan as coordinator.
The Economic Citizenship Program is now a worldwide program, really. And you have a number of new countries coming on board. In the Caribbean, we recently had Antigua, you have Grenada, St. Kitts has been there from before Dominica and has been doing very well. There are a number of countries now, even in Europe, Cyprus and Malta, and a number of other countries looking at bringing in or having their own programs as well. So really and truly, it has become a global program. And with more competition, with more options around the world, we felt that there's a need really to professionalize the program in Dominica. As a result, the government took the decision to form a unit to manage and supervise the program to ensure that we are up to mark, at par or better than all the other units in the world.
The office is located on the first floor of the financial center and has a staff complement of 8. It is hoped that with dedicated staff and space, significant time can be reduced to process applications from potential investors. The unit will also be better able to focus on promoting the island as the best place for investment. This, Nathan says, will translate into more revenue generated for the island. Over the years, the Economic Citizenship Program has undergone a few changes. One of those is citizenship by investment in real estate projects.
Now, there are a number of programs where people are applying to get the programs in. There are 2 of them that have been approved so far. We have the range project, which will be done in Portsmouth at the Bellhall Beach. It's actually a very lovely, very attractive 120-room 5-star hotel being done by Kepinski, a very well reputable group out there. There's another one for Silver Beach that will be done soon. So at least there are 2 of them. There are a number of other applicants, but we're looking to get a number of projects done in Dominica through funding under this program.
The program has been doing tremendously well for the nation, Nathan says, and has brought millions of dollars to the economy. The coordinator says he is optimistic that the new office will add even more value to the program.
We're just starting. We are brand new. As I said, there are a number of people who have applied or people who are inquiring. And we're looking forward to receiving more applications, to analyzing them, and to ensure that we look at the best interest for the government of Dominica, for the best interest for the country of Dominica, as we seek to continue to elevate Dominica as a state, elevate the economy, look at job creation, income generation for Dominica and for Dominicans.
The Economic Citizenship Program of Dominica is based on Section 101 of the Constitution and Sections 8 and 21 of the Citizenship Acts of the Commonwealth of Dominica. On Wednesday, the Government of Dominica, in partnership with the Commonwealth Secretariat's Hubs and Spokes 2 program, conducted a national seminar to explore opportunities existent in trade agreements. The one-day seminar, funded by the European Union, aimed to provide stakeholders in the northern region of Dominica information on market access and entry opportunities available in the trade industry. This included nationals directly involved in the agriculture and fishery sectors, agro-processing and cooperative societies, among others. The Honorable Minister for Trade, Energy and Employment, Ian Douglas, says government is playing its role in creating the environment to take advantage of opportunities in the industry. Honorable Douglas emphasized the significance of Wednesday's consultation.
What are the requirements for entering Martinique and Guadeloupe? How do we take advantage of the opportunities? We have often heard it being said that there are 1 million consumers, 1 million customers on our doorstep in Martinique and Guadeloupe. But they are part of the European Union, and they have to follow European Union standards of how goods enter their market. Do we as traders into Martinique and Guadeloupe understand how to get into those markets? We have been doing what we do in the Ministry of Trade and all of the government entities on the one hand for a number of years, and we're talking about all of the various trading agreements that we have been negotiating and which we have been able to reach. And you, on the other hand, on the other end, have been actually on the production side and on the marketing side trying to do your own thing. So how do we marry those two? How do we bring the two entities together? And that, to my mind, if nothing at all we achieve today, I believe that is one of the most significant and salient points that we must get out of this activity today.
Meantime, Honorable Minister for Commerce, Enterprise and Small Business Development, Roslyn Paul, says government recognizes the contribution of the small and micro business sector to the trade industry and, by extension, the socio-economic development of the country.
My ministry recognizes that enterprise cuts across various sectors to include agriculture, fishing, and agro-industry, among others. And through our outreach and programming, we will definitely intend to bring greater focus in these areas. It is also important that you, the small producers, technocrats, and extension officers understand the linkages and the important role you play as we try to improve and expand production and become more export-ready and market-driven.
The Honorable Minister noted government's efforts to cushion the country from challenges facing the industry. She says these strides demonstrate government making good on its commitment as stated in Dominica's growth and social protection strategy.
Our government, the Dominica Labour Party government of Dominica, has been putting much effort towards improving production, distribution, and supply, and reversing the negative trends in agriculture. There are new opportunities with the establishment of a coffee plant in 1 Mile, in livestock and poultry to supply the abattoir soon to be opened, in horticulture, potato production, the opening of pack houses, and more coordinated structured production and distribution of farm produce. Our Dominica Labour Party government has been making serious investments in agriculture and fishing in terms of ensuring access to finance and providing support to the farming community. For example, within my own ministry, we do have access to finance, to small grants. The government provides technical assistance, inputs, planting materials, and you would have heard of the banana plantlets which just came in, and support to horticulture as well as to hucksters.
Government, through the Banana Accompanying Measures BAM program, will soon be embarking on feeder road rehabilitation, and there is also a move to reinstall irrigation systems. As promised in its 2015 manifesto, the Dominica Labour Party administration is working to purchase a modern vessel to facilitate the export of agricultural commodities to the region. Through programs such as the National Employment Program, the Entrepreneurship Development Program, the Small Business Assistance Facility, and the Dominica Youth Business Trust, government is making a significant contribution to trade and business development in Dominica. You're watching National Focus. Still to come, an Honorable Minister among retired educators receives recognition. Stay with us.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is 2 courts in 1? The CCJ has 2 functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
Welcome back. 4 of Dominica's retired educators were recognized for their contribution to the education system. Among them is the Honorable Minister for Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs, Catherine Daniel, recognized as being a stalwart in education, member of the Dominica Association of Teachers, and for being the CXC Registrar. 2 women with almost 80 years combined of service in the teaching profession were also recognized: Sylvia Guy of the St. Martin Primary School and Adeline Dubois David of the St. Luke's Primary School.
Mrs. Guy taught grades 4 to grade 6 and the junior secondary program when it existed. Her love for the children kept her in this career for over 38 years. If I had to live my life again, I would do it the same way, she says, simply a class teacher at the St. Martin Primary School.
Adeline Dubois was also recognized as a Teacher of Excellence by the Ministry of Education at their last Education Awards ceremony in October 2014.
Mrs. Dubois David's career was spent teaching pupils of different ages, mainly infants. She did not just qualify herself at the Dominica Teachers College. She attended OCOD workshops, DAT workshops, and other training workshops offered by the Ministry of Education. All this was done in an effort to give her students the best she could offer. But her greatest satisfaction was to create an environment which allowed pupils to develop a liking for school. That goal was accomplished during her 40-year teaching career at the St. Luke's Primary School.
Yvette Stedman was also recognized for 30 years of service. Regional Trade Advisor of the OECS Commission, Alan Paul, has commended the Ministry of Trade and Commerce for making support to micro and small business enterprises a priority. The regional advisor was addressing a one-day national seminar to explore trade opportunities on Wednesday.
I think this is very commendable and strategic, recognizing that the success of this is pivotal to overall economic development of small island developing countries in Dominica. And support to that sector is critical to the growth and development of any small country in this part of the world. I want to commend the Ministry of Trade, particularly Mr. Walter, in all his efforts in ensuring that this seminar is taking place. And I want to commend them for making enhanced market access a priority, because support in that regard can be a catalyst in positioning those producers and enterprises to, first of all, maintain and then expand their share of the domestic market.
According to Paul, government's investment in micro and small business enterprises will translate to wider possibilities for regional and extra-regional exports, increasing foreign exchange, and directly and indirectly create jobs. The regional trade advisor is also pleased that government is placing emphasis on enlightening the private sector.
It is often said that governments negotiate and sign trade agreements with no prior consultation with the private sector, and as a result, minimum or no benefits are derived from these trade agreements, primarily due to lack of understanding of the provisions of these agreements. Today's seminar is an attempt by the Ministry of Trade to speak directly to that issue. The Hub and Spokes 2 program, which is a project jointly funded by the Commonwealth Secretariat and the European Union, is therefore pleased to be partnering with the Ministry of Trade in funding and facilitating this very important seminar.
As stated in Dominica's 2012-2015 Growth and Social Protection Strategy, the Ministry of Trade will become more active than it has been in ensuring fruitful collaboration between the private sector and business community to ensure the full availability of information relating to the OECS trade regime. Government will also continue to assist the private sector to take advantage of the opportunities for increasing exports to other member states and to the CARICOM region. The government of Dominica and Discover Dominica Authority are setting the stage for the annual Jazz and Creole event. The event, which is in its 6th year, is a fusion of jazz music, Creole music, food, and culture. The Discover Dominica Authority, along with the event's gold and silver partners, Digicel and Dominica Brewery and Beverages respectively, launched the event on Thursday. Chief Executive Officer of DDA, Colin Piper, says since the event's inception, the number of visitors have increased 100% from 600 to 1,200 visitors in 2014. This, he says, is just one of the objectives of the event.
Hosted annually during the Pentecost holiday weekend, the event is positioned to accomplish a number of objectives, namely to develop and stage a marquee festival, tourism product, which receives local, regional, and international media coverage, to increase visitor arrivals to the destination during the hosting of the event, to stimulate economic activity through increased hotel occupancy and participation at fringe events, to stimulate economic activity in the town of Portsmouth through increased hotel occupancy and participation at main stage, to increase ticket sales and attendance at the main stage event, and to serve as an avenue for showcasing local jazz artists next to regional and international performers.
This year, the event will bring artists such as pianist Ronald Toole and singer Ralph Tamer, both out of Martinique, as well as saxophonist Arturo Tapping of Barbados. Dominica's very own Michael Henderson will also take to the stage. Michael says Dominicans can look forward to a spectacular event.
Some of you may not be too familiar with the artists that are coming to this festival, but I guarantee you that they are phenomenal performers. Ralph Tamer is world-renowned for his skill, his vocal skills, and his ability to arrest his audience and draw you into his performance. He's a fantastic performer. I myself am looking forward to sharing the stage with him. And Ronald Toole himself also performed with various international artists around the world, including Cesaria Evora from Brazil. And the team he is coming along with is as impressive as his repertoire and his ability to perform. Michelle Alibo is going to be on bass guitar, and for anybody who knows music in the Caribbean and knows about jazz and famous musicians, Michelle Alibo is, I venture to say, the best bass player the Caribbean has produced, and he forms part of Ronald's team coming to perform for us here in Dominica.
She says it is an opportunity to expose the Dominican public to other genres of music.
The whole idea of jazz and Creole really is to bring a certain caliber of musician to the island so that we, the people, can experience music at a different level and appreciate the different genres of music that exist in the Caribbean. And this year's festival is definitely going to do that.
The main stage event takes place on May 24th at the Cabrits in Portsmouth. More artists will be announced in the coming weeks. And that's news. Coming up next, the cleaning wonders of vinegar.
Wash your hands. I am Adora Tuse, health educator from the Ministry of Health. Proper hand washing protects against the spread of many common illnesses and germs. Wash your hands often with soap and water, or you may use a hand sanitizer. Remember, clean hands save lives. Protect yourself.
A message from the Health Promotion of the Ministry of Health.
There are endless things you can do with vinegar. It can be used for cooking, in pet care, cleaning, gardening, and even the laundry. Here are a few tips on how you can use vinegar to keep your bathroom sparkling. Bathtub film can be removed rubbing down with a sponge soaked in white distilled vinegar to remove soap residue. As a toilet bowl cleaner, vinegar can remove stubborn stains by brushing vigorously. The bowl may also be deodorized by adding 3 cups of white distilled vinegar and allow it to remain for a half hour before flushing. And finally, to unclog the shower head, soak with vinegar overnight. This may be easily accomplished by saturating a soft towel in vinegar and wrapping it around the shower head or faucet. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past national focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kimani. Thank you for watching.